vegan beef shepherd's pie. This goes to all my plant curious people out there who are not sure if they will be able to handle life without meat. Here is one of the options that you can include into your diet, and I'm actually quite excited to get started, so let's go. TBP is something that everyone has tasted probably, but didn't know that they were eating it actually. TBP is one of the meat extenders, which is often used in the meat industry in order to extend the quantity of the final product, something like a sausage, because it's very similar in texture and also it's quite high in protein.
You need to rehydrate those dry beets in order for them to resemble any kind of meat. And my soy chunks are actually the soy chunks, so you need to boil them in the water for around 30 minutes to get rid of the smell, and we're cooking 1 cup of soy chunks. Cold water, 2 bay leaves, 3 potatoes, and boil them until ready for about 10 minutes. Dry saute 1 red onion and then add the garlic after about 3 minutes after the onions start browning. You can see the blonde over there, it's the brown part. For umami flavor, mix 3 tablespoons of tomato paste, tablespoon of soy sauce, and tablespoon of balsamic vinegar for acidity, and let it develop on hot pan for around 3 minutes. The smell of it starts being really good. 1 portobello mushrooms, that's around 100 grams, and did you know that portobello mushrooms have only 22 calories per 100 grams? So we're adding them into the hot pan and allowing them to cook down a little bit so they release water. That will take about 5 minutes. 240 milliliters of veg stock, or I'm using beef stock cube, which is actually also vegan. Meanwhile, the TBP is ready and we are ready to shred it in the blender. This is how it looks like beef, but with no beef. Add it in and cook it for around 15 minutes further.
And if you're someone who is struggling to absorb protein from plant-based sources, something like TBP can be a good introduction to your diet to meet your dietary requirements in protein, and this is why this is such an interesting component.
And meanwhile, let's chop around 2 spring onions and cook for 5 more minutes or until the liquid is almost absorbed. Garlic powder, celery salt, crushed black pepper, or whatever spices you prefer. 100 milliliters of plant milk. I prefer soy milk due to the creamier texture and high protein content, and nutritional yeast around 1/4 cup. 2 tablespoons of tahini. Tahini is given the nice consistency, but it can be quite calorie dense, 180 calories per 2 tablespoons, so beware. Mash it all up and we'll start the layering process.
Are you using TBP in your cooking? Let me know in the comments down below. I'm actually quite curious because not everyone knows about it.
It's actually quite easy to prepare everything, and this is a special secret for the crust. We're using this fork technique, so these creases are going to give really nice crust. Look at that. 375 Fahrenheit, 180 Celsius for around 20 to 25 minutes or until the potatoes are brown, and look at that. And wait a minute. Tell me it doesn't look great. Boom, look at the feeling. And this is for all my people who are concerned about their calories and nutrient intake. You're welcome. Surprisingly, calories are not that high per serving, and carbohydrates are also not that high.
And if you're still considering other shepherd's pie recipes, check out this one, which is whole food plant-based. And also check out the whole playlist with some festive ideas for desserts, as well as your dinner centerpieces. And I see you there.